Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and look, it's my son and my co-host and chat moderator, Jason.
It's me.
Welcome to the Captain Logan Show. Tonight we're going to talk more trailers. Last week we did mostly trailers, and then I think like a couple days later there were two giant trailers that I knew I would want to talk about.
Yep.
We were going to do a fun theme show this week, and then this stuff dropped. And not only is it like obligatory, where it's just big movies that we're obviously going to cover on the channel when they come out, but things that I am actually unequivocally really excited about.
Yeah.
Really stoked for. And Jason, this has not happened for me in a pretty good long time. Like, we will occasionally get that one thing that I'm pretty hyped up for. Very often, and I hate to be a buzzkill, I'm just sort of lukewarm, or these days, or apathetic, or just kind of wait and see, and like, okay, everything about this looks like it should be great, but I don't know if I trust it. Like companies or creators or whatever that I've been burned on, one too many times, that sort of thing. And I hate to say that, like, I can get a little bit cynical sometimes about modern entertainment. It's hard not to, with the sheer number of things, especially in the genre that we most cover, superhero movies. Our track record has not been the best over the last decade. There's been some really great stuff, and then majoritively, it's not been so hot, right? Yeah. And to the point where I have not collected nearly as much, like, brand new right out the gate Blu-ray and DVD, like right when superhero movies come out, as I used to. And because so much of it is just not that great. And so I'm like, I don't know, how quickly do I need to pull the trigger on Captain America Brave New World and movies like that? And so I just kind of take my time. So I'm really behind on some of that stuff now. And suddenly, and now these are not both superhero movies, but although there's another trailer that came out last week that I forgot about that Jason reminded me of right before the show started, that we can also talk about if people want us to. There's a new Spider-Noir trailer that showed quite a bit more. And we've covered the Spider-Noir that we've had so far, but there's quite a bit more, and we know who some of the villains are now. Yeah. And so if people want us to talk about that, we can do that more in the second half. If we've got time, we'll tack it on to the first hour, but I had planned to just talk about these two. But anyway, we finally have a teaser for Coyote versus Acme, which I have been wanting to see for years now. And it's not even hyperbolic to say that. This thing was made in like 21, and it was Zaslaved, and we were supposed to never see the thing. And Ketchup comes to the rescue once again. They save Toxic Avenger, and they're saving the. I think it was maybe Toxic Avenger that they saved. And I'm pretty sure they put out the newer Hellboy movie, maybe. So like they have been heroes for movies that cannot get distribution that were supposed to be put up by major studios, particularly Warner Brothers. And so now this is coming to light, and the way they're selling it is just pitch perfect. In turning Acme or Warner Brothers into Acme. It's wonderful. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm really excited about that. I was already kind of jazzed about at least getting to see that. I was really curious about it. The concept is super cool. And now I'm over the moon about it. And Clayface, I might be more jazzed about than I even was about the Batman, which is such a weird thing to say, but like that hit me sideways.
Whoa.
It's just taken all the right risks.
Okay.
And like, I'm gonna warn everybody, I'm feeling a little fanboy right now about this stuff in a way I don't usually. And so maybe we'll hit these movies, and one or both of them will not be anything like as great as they look to me right now. But I gotta tell you, Jason, I am willing to throw caution to the wind on both of these. These two trailers come out the same day that I'm blown away by and over the moon about. Never happens with me. The same day.
Yeah.
I was on freaking Cloud 9, and and Spider-Noir also looks pretty good, and that TV show, not a movie. But I am willing to throw caution to the wind on these And I am admitting, I am making a choice right now with this. But usually it's like, wait and see. Trailers, as I always say, exist to try to get you to go see the thing. They're not always fully indicative of what it's really going to be. How do you know for sure how good it's going to be until you actually see the thing? Obviously, I choosing to get my hopes up on both of these.
Yeah.
I am choosing to do that. But I would bet you money both of these will at least be solid.
Yeah.
I think there's almost no chance at all that either of them is flat out awful. I don't think there's any chance.
Yeah.
Just from what we know by now, like the passion behind the projects, the risk taking, the kind of like counterintuitive in a positive way. It seems like with these, where they're commercial in the right way, but they're sort of more indie feeling in the right way. If that makes any sense, like they just feel like unabashed creative pieces so far, and I'm very excited about them.
I thought I was more excited for Clayface than you were.
The more I think about it, well, and I went back. So part of it is I went back over the weekend and I rewatched Feet of Clay, which of course this is mostly based on.
Right.
And I had the best watch of Feet of Clay over the weekend I've ever had. And if you go back, and don't do this, but if you go back to the old bat chat I did on that years ago, I was not real high on it. I was like, "Ooh, this doesn't hold up as well as I remember it," and I don't totally know because I flipped back around on it. There's some silly stuff in it with Batman, especially. But it's animated series. There's silly stuff around it, and like all through that, and it's kind of charming silly. It doesn't hold the thing back. The big thing I remember complaining about, I think I was being a bit of a prude, to be honest with you, because I think I was being a little bit pretentious, because the big thing I remember complaining about is the fact that Matt Hagen at the end of that episode, like Batman, kind of puts him in a trap to see all of the roles he played, and he can't stop. It's sort of like the trick where Batman, where like he throws a coin and then Batman throws lots of coins at him. Like Two-Face. It's kind of like that, where it's like he shows him all the roles he played and then he can't stop shifting into all of them. And I was like, well, how come just because you're seeing them, you're having that? And I don't think I appreciated the psychology with it, and that Batman is kind of understanding that psychology.
Yeah.
Clayface is like Two-Face in that it's sort of like a multiple personality thing, except he's like choosing to have a different personality and he's trying to shove the other one down, and it's manufactured in a way Two-Face isn't, right? So Two-Face he's got Big Bad Harv, which he his subconscious created in childhood, and it keeps pushing on him, and then when he has a psychotic break, that personality takes over. But he already had the psychology about him. He already had kind of a disassociative thing. And with Clayface, it's because I have transformed into this monster, I have made the decision, kind of like I have, to assume these movies will be good, Jason. Yes. He has made the decision to destroy Matt Hagen. There is no more Matt Hagen. Yeah. There is only Clayface. And Batman shows him all of the different roles that he played, and he realizes that deep down he wants to be Matt Hagen and still have that life. And the irony is that to be Matt Hagen, he's all of these different characters, and he can't be Matt Hagen anymore because he doesn't look like that anymore, and that drives him crazy. And so he's doing all the shifting because deep down he wants to be these people that he played in film. I was an idiot when I reviewed that. Like, it totally works. Now, there's silly stuff. In that scene, I'm just reviewing Feet of Clay right now. In that scene, he's like, I can't be all of them, not all at once. Meanwhile, if you look close at all the screens in the background, there's like 4 characters.
Yeah.
And they just keep repeating, and so they're sort of playing it because he's like I did my best roles after I started taking the renew you, like before he becomes full on Clayface. And it's like, well, we're only seeing like 4 different roles, so that was weird. But the silliest stuff in that episode, and of course that's a 2-parter. Some of the best animation in that whole show.
Yeah.
But some of the silliest stuff in that is the way Batman interrogates people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
He takes his Batwing, right? And he smashes, so he's got like the sharp front of it, and he smashes it. It's badass. He smashes it into this gangster's car, and the gangster's car is stuck on the front of it, and then he just flies it up into the air, and then he gets the gangster out of the car on a grappler, and he's holding him by the wrist, and he just flies him all over the place with this thing by the wrist, and he does loop-de-loops, and the guy never breaks his wrist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how on earth? This guy has the strongest arms in the world. Like, you can't even say comic book logic. Compare this to, like, Death of Gwen Stacy, and you're like, how is this guy alive? And then he faints, and Batman's like, fainted. He fainted. Like he's so pathetic. I'm like, you had the guy by the wrist and you flew him all over there's this bit where he just dips. You're like, that guy should have his wrist broken and drop and be dead. And it's hilarious. And then later he interrogates this other guy, Germs, because he's a germaphobe. The kind of right-hand man for Roland Daggett. He pretends to have a jar with a horrible virus in it, and he it's fun because it's just seawater, but the guy doesn't know that, and so Batman claims it's this terrible disease, right? And he puts it on the shelf right above him, and Batman keeps pounding the jar, and like it's gonna drop on him, but he doesn't take the lid off the jar. And so, like, it's just spinning around, and then it drops, and Batman catches it. And I guess maybe the guy could just assume the lid was off of it, but I think he, like, shows him part of it and then puts it up there, and I'm like, why don't you at least take the lid off of it? Like, it's kind of weird. Anyway, so that stuff is distracting. But overall, it's wonderful. And anyway, I don't know. I'll talk about that trailer here in a second, but I went down the rabbit hole of that. Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate it. Longest intro ever, but we'll talk more about the trailers. First off, I just want to say, if you want to have us talk about anything at all under the sun within reason, you can leave a super chat at any dollar amount, and that will guarantee that we do that. And you can also leave regular comments with a question, and you can tag Jason, because he reads those so that I have more time to ramble on about Clayface.
Yes.
Clayface. I just bought this over the weekend. Like, what timing?
Yeah, timing.
There's this one shot that came out a couple of years ago that I didn't even know about. They did these Batman One Bad Day one shots.
Oh, it's thick.
Yeah, it's this was like an $8 book.
Wow.
Originally, and I found it at a flea market for cheaper, and I was like, well, the timing is right. I'll try this out.
When did you go to a flea market?
Like Sunday, Sunday afternoon.
Nice.
But anyway, so we'll do Q&A in the second half as always. I should check and see if we have Patreon questions, Jason, because I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
But you can also become a patron at patreon.com/geekvolution. The $2 tier lets you put in a question for this show every month. And I just put up a prompt today for April because we're really only having this show where it's going to make sense to do these. We've only got 3, so we can do all those tonight, I'm sure. So we'll go ahead and answer one right now, and then I'll get back to the trailers here in a moment. Sorry I'm a little scatterbrained, but I'm excited about these trailers.
Yeah. And you're excited about Batman the Animated Series.
I am. I'm very much just in the mood for that right now. And I also...
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
I showed the kids Grey Ghost this weekend.
Oh, that's a perfect episode.
And I bought the McFarlane Grey Ghost and the McFarlane regular Batman figure over the weekend, because those were originally $35 figures when they came out, and I got them on sale for $10. And now I have figures to put in my giant McFarlane Batmobile, which is exciting. And it's cool to have those together because Grey Ghost actually gets in the Batmobile in that episode.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. You can make him Batman's sidekick.
I couldn't remember if he did or not.
Yeah. I went back, and that's part of why I rewatched it, because I thought he did. And I was like, that's kind of cool he's in the car. And then I watched the show again, and I was like, I bought the right figures.
Yeah.
That's great. Michael Martin, if you were to start... Sorry, I'm going to read them this time, because...
All right.
Because I have them here. Well, you want me to send them to you so that you can do your job? Here, I'll do it. Jason feels pointless.
I was going to say, like, why am I here?
He's feeling a little pointless, so I will send this to him. Just a second. This is so silly. I can just hand this to you. Here you go. You can read. You can just read off my phone. There you
go. Michael Martin.
Yeah.
If you were to start a comic company to compete with Marvel and DC, how would you go about building your core roster of heroes/characters? Be this from a business or narrative standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, that's so tough, right? Because you look at all the independent companies that have attempted this, and the ones that have been most successful at it have either started at a time, or, well, I should say, have either started with creators that were already so popular that people were going to buy their stuff no matter what it was, as with Image. Now, obviously, those characters some of them at least had to have some staying power, and as time went on, they did get some, some existing IP already, but a lot of it was creator-owned stuff that became real mainstream. Or mainstream enough, your Spawns and your Witchblades and your Savage Dragons and et cetera, and then eventually with Kirkman, even stuff as big or bigger than Spawn, your Walking Deads and your Invincibles. And now you have a whole shared universe with pre-existing IP at Image, with the Skybound stuff, with the Transformers, with the Energon universe, with Transformers and G.I. Joe and all of that stuff. And so Image has shown us how it's done on both fronts. Because what I was going to say is you either start with creators that already have a built-in base that people want to buy stuff from, or you get IP that people are interested in and you just get good talent on it. And so we've seen Image do both. We've seen IDW primarily do the second thing to various degrees of success, and it took them a lot of years to really get a lot of traction. We've seen, and I think they've kind of fallen off too, but through the 2010s, they were looking pretty good with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And Star Trek to a lesser degree, and a few other IPs. Dynamite did it with pre-existing IP, but more often, at least in their early days, with pulp stuff, kind of bringing back heroes that people hadn't done anything with for a long time, with your Shadows, and I think maybe Rocketeer.
When does Dynamite start?
I don't know how old that company is. I think maybe early mid-2000s.
Because I haven't heard of them. I didn't hear about them until like a couple years ago.
Okay, Dynamite, I know, I first learned about in the early 2010s. They published Green Hornet and stuff like Kevin Smith's Green Hornet movie script that never got made, and then they turned it into a comic book, et cetera, et cetera. You got Dark Horse, which has done, well, I was going to say, with Dynamite, now they're having kind of a second wind with still somewhat pulpy stuff, but also a lot of like Saturday morning cartoon shows turned into slightly more serious properties, which is neat. And they've been doing that with things like Space Ghost and Dino Mutt and stuff like that, Hanna-Barbera. And then you get things like Dark Horse, which also has a good blend of pre-existing IP and creator-owned stuff. And so I just mention all of that to say, like, you start, I think, with one of those two tracks.
Mm-hmm. Is Dark Horse
is the way to really get off the ground. Dark Horse has lost so much of the IP they used to have. I mean,
Yeah.
they were big for Alien Predator. They lost the Buffy license. Like they lost everything.
Yeah.
And they still have Magnolia and Hellboy, and like one or two other things. And I think they've maybe bought up a couple of things subsequently. They're doing okay, but
Yeah.
they're not publishing anything like as much as they used to, and they're not in the zeitgeist the way they once were. But anyway, so I guess I bring that up just to say I feel like to get noticed at all, you have to do one of those two things. So as far as like how would you build your universe, I'm not even totally sure if I were to start my own comic company, I would start with a shared universe. It's interesting that Image tried to start with a shared universe and they immediately splintered it. They did the opposite of what you would think you would do, which is have some unrelated IPs that maybe eventually would all connect together. Yeah, I talked about this in Spawn Year because the early issues of Spawn keep bringing up Youngblood and a couple other other IPs they had, and like you'd think the Darkness would fit really well in that universe, but they're not really connected. And they attempted to do shared stuff later here and there, like with the Image United or whatever, but for the most part, they stayed real splintered, and a lot of that was because of that creator-owned mentality they had, where everybody that comes to them gets to keep the rights to their characters and their works and everything. So the way I would want to handle it, I would think, is to bring on at least one or two creators, if I could, that already have a built-in base, because I just don't know how you get noticed otherwise. And then let them do their own thing, and then maybe just make sure that nothing they're doing contradicts each other too hard in case you wanted to marry them later. Mm-hmm. That's how I would want to do it. And I think the ticket these days is to not pigeonhole yourself into one genre. So you don't want to come in and try to be a DC or a Marvel. You actually want to be an Image, which is we can do anything we want to. Mm-hmm. In any kind of genre to bring in any sort of base. And like, as long as the quality is solid, I think you can get away with throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Like, you don't want to look desperate, where it's like, we try this thing, and then we try this thing, and like, who knows what's going to work. If everything is decent, then who cares if you do that, because you're making different things for different people. And I don't know that you have to have a house style, or like we're the comic company that makes like the goofy funny things, or we're the comic company that makes the really scary things. Or,
yeah, you
like
can do all.
I don't think you have to pigeonhole yourself like that.
You can be like the GCU.
Yeah. And I also don't know that there are a lot of licenses left that you could start a whole company around that anybody would notice. So I would want to go with the first thing and like get noticed with a couple of big names and then bring on fresh blood. Yeah. Because if people start, noticing your comic company, like Mad Cave is a thing that I never knew about until like a year ago, but I've heard of them now because they've had a little bit of stuff with clout. And so if you they don't seem to be doing very well right now, apparently they've laid off some people, but I'm just saying, if people could get to learn the name of my comic company, then I can get away with trying different people out. And you want to make sure that the artwork is up to snuff. Like, the storytelling really matters, but the interiors also really matter. Yeah. You don't want people to open your book up and it looks like it came out of a basement. And right. I think coloring is more important than anybody gives it credit for.
Yeah.
When I see a book that looks unprofessionally colored, I immediately my like basement indie brain goes off and I go, this is not professional.
Yeah.
And like it's one of the first things I notice. And so if you can't make your coloring look professional, just publish black and white comics. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And
you can certainly get that going.
Yeah. Black and white comics are great.
But yeah, as far as like shared universes and stuff, that would be the furthest thing from my mind getting started. I would want to publish good new talent along with one or two like really well-known veterans. And something else I would insist on if I did my own thing is kids comics.
Yeah.
Even if I did some really hard R stuff, I would want at least one or two really good all ages or kid comics, because there's just not enough of it. And how in the world, like, part of it is I care about kids.
Yeah.
And I have kids, and I want my kids to get to read cool new comics. But more than that is how in the world do you keep the hobby alive if you're not grabbing kids? And this is something that Kirkman understands. Like, the same guy that did Invincible and Walking Dead also did Super Dinosaur. Like, he gets it.
Really?
Oh yeah, and it's great. I wish he would do more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've spent too long on this question, because the honest, real answer is just two words: Robert Kirkman. Just do it like he does it.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's it. It's kind of all I had to say, actually. Anyway, let's get back to trailers. So I've already talked about this a little bit. I'm super excited about both. Let's get a little deeper into it, and let's hear from Jason on both of these.
Hi.
Coyote versus Acme.
Coyote versus Acme. So I didn't know a lot about this. I knew that it got Zaslaved, and I knew that it was... I didn't even for the longest time know that it was a like live action animated thing. Like I just didn't even pay attention to it.
Did you know the premise?
No, I didn't know anything about it, but it looks really fun. It's very much my thing. Just the I mean, you know me in court dramas.
Yeah.
So and I like John Cena, so it seems more like your kind of thing than my kind of thing, but I feel like that side of it I'll definitely get. I don't know that we really need like all Looney Tunes characters and stuff like that, but like I hope we focus it mainly on the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, but I also like that it really feels like Roger Rabbit to me, and I don't know, that's great.
It feels like a lived-in world that's just had tunes in it, just like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Like, nothing that's done that blend that I've seen since then has given me that exact feeling again. And 30 seconds into that trailer, I was like, they've captured it.
Yeah.
Like, they know exactly how to get that tone back.
Yeah.
Some people...
Which is something that Space Jam 2 did not do.
Well, and even the first one doesn't really have that. No. I don't feel like... And some of it is just that's not a great script. When I was a kid, I really liked Space Jam. Like, I have a soft spot.
Space Jam is not
It's
great.
not good. I still have a soft spot for it just because of how it made me feel when it came out. And, you know, the Michael Jordan hype was big back then.
Yeah.
But the problem is, in Michael Jordan, you don't have a real actor.
Right.
And, like, he's doing his best, but, like, he's basically just making a commercial. Because that movie was based on a commercial in the first place. Yeah. And so it's just an hour-and-a-half version of that commercial. And you don't have a Bob Hoskins to make you believe that these animated characters are really there with the live-action characters. And this captures that so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we've not seen the movie yet, but, like, I'm immediately buying that they're there together. And I also just really like what the animation looks like. And I'm hearing people complain that it's not 2D and that it is technically, 3D, like, computer animation. But the character models are still flat.
Yeah.
And so it still looks close enough. Like, yeah, there's a bit more depth to it, and you can tell that it's not meticulously hand-drawn. But it looks like it's made to be seen in a movie theater, regardless of the fact that apparently at some point before it got Zaslaved, it was supposed to go directly to HBO Max. But I think originally, as they were making it, they thought it was going to go theatrical. So, like, it looks like a theatrical experience, yeah. just like Roger Rabbit did. And the Roger Rabbit tone is part of the reason, that world-building aspect of it is part of the reason that I actually am really glad that they're opening it up and it's more of a Looney Tunes movie than we expected it to be. It gives you that Toontown flavor where it's like, it will focus on one or two tunes, but then everybody else is there and they'll all get like their moments in bits, or at least some of them will. We've not seen everybody yet. I mean, who knows, like, if Tweety and Sylvester have anything to do, and I would expect maybe a cameo, unless you saw them in the trailer and I missed them, but I would expect a cameo from Marvin Martian, but I would expect him to do a whole lot in that movie.
Yeah, Tweety was there.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm
if
just
I
not
saw
remembering
Sylvester, but
right now.
no,
but,
Tweety was in quite a bit of it.
okay, well.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know why I wasn't like you. I wasn't really expecting a lot of the other Looney Tunes to be a big part of it. So, like, the Bugs reveal at the end kind of got me. I was like,
yeah,
oh, neat. It looks like he's gonna be like a Deep Throat or something, which is such a neat part for him.
Yeah.
I love what we seem to be doing with Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah.
As like the strong arm of the evil corporation. That's kind of perfect to me. I like that he is intimidating John Cena. So like John Cena is their lawyer, but Foghorn Leghorn is the speaker of the real power, which is the big scary evil corporation.
Yeah.
That is an analog for Warner Brothers themselves. The way that Ketchup is now spinning the whole thing, and I've heard people say, well, don't give the distributor too much credit for this because that social commentary was clearly already in the movie and was already supposed to be part of the marketing. The idea that, like, Acme themselves don't want you to see the movie. Yeah, okay, but I'm going to counter that because I saw that in comments, like detractors in the trailer video on YouTube. And my counter to that is there's no way Warner Brothers themselves puts the movie out and calls themselves in the text with that asterisk a subsidiary of Acme the Evil Corporation. Like it's obvious what they're doing with that satire, and I think that's fantastic. I think one of the reasons it hit me sideways was I didn't expect the movie itself to accidentally end up being such a reflection of what happened with the movie. Like there ends up being this really cool meta component to it, just completely on accident.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
It just makes me want to watch some Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is it looks like really smart social commentary and satire, and it's like the right kind of hard-hitting but funny sort of cynicism where it still feels like a really fun kind of wholesome entertainment that has this, like, undercurrent of the world is pretty messed up. And let's make fun of that through a Looney Tunes lens. And Roger Rabbit had exactly that thing. You know, like, we talk a lot about how we can't stop deconstructing everything. This is the right kind of deconstructing. You know, it's what Roger Rabbit did with the Hollywood system, and we're doing it here with corporations that just look at people as numbers and try to get away with anything they can to increase their quarterly earnings, and so they're putting out defective products, and they don't care if they work or not, and they might even get something out of them not working. And then you think about tax write-offs and what Zaslav's been doing with things where it's like, we spent all this money on this thing that we're not going to let anybody see, just to get a tax write-off. And you go, oh wow, that's exactly what Warner Brothers is right now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but like you can also see a lot of that satire in what's going on with the food industry and pharmaceuticals and manufacturing, just on and on. And so it looks really fun, and it also looks really scathing. And I think appropriately so. I think we should be talking about that stuff. And I like that we can do it in a not pandery preachy way. Like so much entertainment does now, and kind of like there's so much stuff that pretends like it's saying something new. That like everything is saying, And this is talking about stuff that doesn't get talked about enough, and also in a fun way. And so anyway, I'm just all around. I think it looks great.
One is funny because it's, you know, obviously like the movie. It's like, oh, the movie, you know, Acme doesn't want you to see, but which is obviously the Zaslav thing, but also you know, remember them like taking down all of Looney Tunes off of HBO Max and stuff. And how they seem to kind of hate Looney Tunes and for no reason, and I think it's really funny that this is actually happening. So it makes me hope that it's good.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It looks fun.
Like I said, I'm happy to get my hopes up on this one. It will massively disappoint me, of course, if somehow it's bad, because I don't see it. I don't see how it possibly could be. You can see so much love in it just from the minute and a half we've seen so far. And the teaser that they put out the day before, you know, like we always do these stupid like teasers for a teaser.
Yeah.
The one they put out the day before, like, could have been the teaser for the thing. Yeah. And that's the way you do that, where you just have somebody involved in the project, you know, kind of talking about it in a fun way, and then you show like a couple of little things. But that was also great. Mm-hmm. No, it's super cool. To your point earlier, real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
To your point about your concern that maybe it's like too many characters and you know we should be focused a little bit more on Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Let's keep in mind that Wile E. Coyote is, it looks like in this, is just like Roger Rabbit. He's not the protagonist. You know, like he's not going to be the main character in this. This is going to be all about the defense lawyer. Yeah. And possibly a dual protagonist piece for him and John Cena. Because I could see him becoming a real sympathetic character too. I'm starting to see kind of the potential arc or formula in the story where like I could see John Cena turn around and actually turn into kind of the main protagonist. As soon as he's dressed down by Foghorn Leghorn, I'm like, oh, he's going to end up realizing that he's working for the horrible, shady corporation, like even more so than he did before. Side note, I also am expecting some kind of really neat plot twist and revelation about what horrible things Acme is really doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That will somehow play into old Looney Tunes content and make all like create some kind of revelation that makes all of that make more sense. Mm-hmm. Just something really neat in the universe where you go, oh, that's what they've been a front company for all along. You know, that looks really fun. But A, like, they're not really the protagonist. B, Wile E. Coyote, like Roger Rabbit, you know, kind of a one-note character, and should be, and is not, like, he and Roadrunner don't talk.
Right.
So, like, there's plenty of space for a larger cast.
Sure.
And Acme plays a lot into that whole universe. Mm-hmm. And so you want to get into how it impacts more of the Looney Tunes.
You're right.
And so I like Wile E. as the catalyst for it, but what were you going to say?
I never liked putting all the Looney Tunes characters in one place because they're all the same character.
Well, that's not entirely fair.
I mean, you got friggin'...
No, they're all two characters.
Exactly. Every two characters is the same. Like, that's every Looney Tunes cartoon. So if you put them all together, like, obviously they're different personalities and everything, but,
yeah,
like, if you put them all together, it doesn't really... I don't love it, but I don't know.
But...
You know, if it's a supporting cast in it, I think it's fine.
But this makes a good case for it because they're all stand-ins for different archetypes that would fit into a conspiracy thriller. Mm-hmm. You know, again, like with Bugs' Deep Throat and with Foghorn Leghorn as the face of the evil corporation, and like everybody's got a clear role. Like, even before we've seen the movie. Yeah. That's part of why I'm willing to get my hopes up about it, is, like, I can see the story. Like, I can see that there's a story there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm excited. And I didn't say this at the start. Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner were also always my favorite.
Right.
And so, when we first found out that that we were making a Looney Tunes movie around them, and it was a courtroom drama. I was like, what? It's like somebody made this for me. And then they shelved it, and we were never going to get to see it. And I was so sad about it for so long that I just wrote it off.
Yeah.
And so when we found out we were finally going to get it, like, I was excited. But I think I had just gotten used to not caring about it because we were never going to see it.
Right.
And as soon as I saw the first frame of it, I was like, oh yeah, I've wanted this my whole life. I forgot all about this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably my most anticipated movie of the year now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited about it. So that comes out in August, and then October.
And that's your birthday month too.
I know, I'm stoked. And then October is the correct month for Clayface.
Yes.
Yay, that's coming out then. It looks like a straight-up terrifying thriller and horror film. It's advertised in almost a, like, cartoonishly typical, like, a horror release, like a Blumhouse movie or something.
Yeah.
And I think it will probably be a little smarter, a little more elevated over some of the just like jump scare thrillers.
Definitely.
But they're selling it like that because that audience will want to see this.
Yeah.
And then I think it's gonna.
I'm excited.
I think it's gonna be a really good psychological thriller and character piece.
So good.
It had, and I already talked a ton about Feet of Clay at the start. And apologies if that was irritating, but I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I was like, oh, this does hold up. I got the shot that I needed, and I don't mean to make everything about nostalgia, and I don't want things to just be nostalgia bait, but this is a matter of things that I like about this character that I didn't know if we would go far enough for. So before this movie was announced, there was a lot of talk that Clayface could be the villain of the Batman 2, and we know that Matt Reeves really likes that character. And then once this movie was announced, we were all like, well, that's probably not going to be the villain now. Maybe he'll go to Mr. Freeze or something. And I don't think that'll happen either, but that's another character I think he's talked about. Yeah. A lot of the debate was, is that universe too grounded and not comic booky enough to do full-on shape-shifting Clayface?
Yeah.
Where he'll have the big crazy face and his arms will turn into cutlery and he'll have big bladed weapons that he hits you with and spike balls and stuff. And a lot of people had kind of written that idea off, and that if we did Clayface, it would just be, well, he can change his face. It'll be just what it sounds like. He'll basically be false face, but his body is either made out of clay or it seems like kind of a clay thing. But we're not going to go monster with it. This movie is clearly going monster with it.
Yeah,
and
which I actually like. So, and I mean, we've argued about this ad nauseum. The whole. What things can you do in the Reeves movies and stuff?
This looks like it could be in that same universe.
For this, as a horror movie, the monster thing works. I think it totally works.
Yeah, it's classic monster body horror. I mean, it's kind of Universal monster-ish.
Yeah, it all just depends on how they use it.
Of course.
And, yeah. No, that's actually not the shot that sold me.
Well, yeah, can I say what the shot is?
Yeah.
We got again, it's kind of blink and you miss it, but we get a silhouette on a wall of the mace, of the spike ball, which is, in my mind, kind of the most iconic image for that character in the animated series. And it's really neat because we cut back to it. So you see it at first, and it's on the wall, and it's the ball, and it's got spikes. And then we cut to something else, and when we come back to it, the spikes get big.
Yeah, and
it comes down, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna go full tilt with this. Yep. Like, you could in the third, and I think they'll wait till third act, but I think, and hopefully the CG is good if they do this. Or maybe they'll be insane and they'll do it like practical with puppetry or something, Jason. I mean, I could see them going real practical with it. But I think you'll see some version of the grotesque giant face Clayface.
Yeah,
I think it's going to go that far.
Yeah.
And if you think that's too far-fetched and you can't make it look good now, and especially like practically, go back and look at The Substance, because I think this movie is looking at The Substance, and that's not even at 16. That's a movie I would not let you watch yet. That'll mess you up. But
Okay, I'm gonna watch it without you.
And like, you know, a bit too much nudity. But anyway, I think it could be done, and I think they might have done it. Especially with the big kind of money shot at the end that everybody's talking about. That I keep hearing people say, like, this was just a trailer and I'm already scared. Where he takes his hand and he makes his face blank.
That was my shot where I was like, okay, I'm excited.
And
yep.
Like, they're making such a great case for this as an original, you know, horror property. Where, like, you've never seen anything exactly like that. It looks really fresh. Mm-hmm. Looks really new. Like, yeah, it's kind of Matrix. Like, you've seen movies where somebody doesn't have a mouth or where somebody doesn't have a face, but like that's an original image that you take your hand,
yeah,
and lose your face.
Well, and also it's the horror thing where it cuts, and it's like they did it twice and they like just jump cut it, and that is I love those shots. It's great.
Braden, I'm not showing Jason The Substance. That is not going to happen.
You should.
I do own a copy of that, but I'm not.
You should watch The Substance by yourself. Then I'll just.
I do want to see it again because it's great, but I also don't want to watch it again because it's really creepy.
I'll just go up in my room and watch some Pokemon.
That is one of the most screwed up movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like that really did mess me up in the right kind of way. I mean, it's wonderfully effective. The brilliant movie. I think this could be like that to some degree. I don't think it'll be as messed up as The Substance. I don't think they'll go that far with it.
So there's something that we started arguing about first time we watched this trailer.
Okay.
You want the Batman to show up in this.
I want the Batman?
You want Batman to show up in this. Sorry. You want Batman to show up in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Okay.
Because I think... Well, okay, I wouldn't mind it, but just as a horror movie, I don't think it might not work.
I think it still could if you keep him mostly in the background and in shadow. I don't think we need to get in the car with him. I think like everybody knows what Batman is. Yeah. I don't think we need to explain it. I think he can show up in the third act and fight Clayface, and we can allude to the fact that he's been investigating this the whole time and we only got the bad guy's side of it. That's how I'm hoping they go. I think it's very odd. I'm going to look at this from the Batman fan perspective for a second, because I hear you on the side of, well, it's a horror film. It's weird if suddenly there's a superhero in it. Yeah. How do you adapt Feet of Clay without Batman? Like who is he fighting? Sure. And if you can give us a good, like, compelling cop character,
yeah,
and I think you'll probably have some GCPD in this, like, okay, but how did the police fight Clayface? My worry is if Batman's not in it, you've got to really tone down his power set. He's so powerful. How do you even fight him if you're not Batman?
Right. Well, that's why it's scary. And so, I don't know. They'll think of something. So you think some like Godzilla 54th something? I don't know.
So do you think it could just be a revenge thriller where we don't even take the bad guy out at the end?
I don't know.
You know, because I don't think they'll do that.
That
either.
would be cool. I mean,
I think it will be a.
If Clayface wins, that would be pretty cool.
I think they'll do it as a tragedy, like the cartoon episode was, and he'll get defeated in some way where he is, you know, having a hard time shapeshifting, or he is, you know, kind of like made rock solid, and he's got to, like he does in that episode, like liquefy himself and disappear and go into the sewer or something. Like, I think he'll survive it, probably, but somebody has to beat him.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, and also, this being the third movie in the DCU, if this is supposed to be DCU proper, and I think it is, I really appreciate getting a full-on horror film, but I don't know if it needs to be like Joker, where there just isn't even a Batman here. Like, at the very least, we've got to have references to Batman as a character. We got to know he's there. Like, don't avoid that. We're doing Gotham. There's a shot about Amusement Mile. Like, there's quite a bit of comic stuff in here, and I'm calling it right now. I predict there will be a reference to Grey Ghost. I will actually be shocked if that's not in this movie. Because, I mean, like, we're doing Clayface the actor.
Yeah.
It's right there. I mean, it would be really easy to have a reference to that. Whether it's, like, he played a version of Grey Ghost, or he's got a poster of it because he's, like a fan of old serials or something. That character will be referenced in this movie. They love animated series. They're basing on a feat of Clay. Like, that'll be in there. I would be very surprised if it wasn't. But anyway, there's also the question of, is it Basil Karlo or is it Matt Hagen? I don't know if we've been told that yet. Based on feat of Clay, I would think they might still call it Matt Hagen, but we go to Basil Karlo most of the time these days. When it's the actor version, so I don't know. And I still think it's weird that they didn't use Basil Karlo in the animated series, just because that name is a tribute to...
It's Matt Hagen.
Is it Matt Hagen? Yes. I don't know. I'm excited about that just because it's that show, and as soon as you say Matt Hagen, it makes me go, well, if they're borrowing that from that episode, what else is coming from that episode?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's so weird that the original show didn't use Basil Karlo, because that's a tribute to Basil Rathbone, and you were calling back to old Hollywood, and that's what the whole thing's about, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how out of time it's going to watch.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how, like, present day versus, out of time 89 kind of thing it'll feel.
Yeah.
But another movie that I'm kind of just assuming is going to be pretty good.
I'm very excited.
If not great.
Because it seems like my kind of thing.
And I don't know, maybe I sound hyperbolic when I say more excited than with the Batman. I really liked that movie. I don't know if I was just kind of numb because of the DCEU up to that point, where everything was just kind of feeling obligatory, where it's like, I mean, this looks really good, but these movies have not been great lately, and so it's hard to get excited to go to anything. I don't know if that's what I was having, or what, or if it was more just like, well, I like the first two Nolan movies anyway. Like, I've had some good Batman.
Yeah.
So, like, I hope this is great, but
I don't need more.
I had this very strange kind of like split in my own personality with it, where it was like, on the one hand, it's much more like comic Batman, what I think of as Batman, and on the other hand, I don't know, I've had a lot of movie Batman, and so to this day I have that with that movie, where, like, I think it's really good. I've not felt super compelled to keep going back to it, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
like,
see, that's my favorite superhero movie. So
no, I know it is, and I don't know why I have that with it. Like, in a whole lot of ways, it is much more my Batman than any other live action Batman, and yet I've just not been super compelled. And some of it's runtime. Like, I'll just go, well, I don't know if I have time for 3 hours. Like that's some of it.
Sure.
I don't know what the thing is with it. Like, I really like it.
Well, and I know you have the same thing with the Penguin, where it just gets you depressed, so you don't want to watch that.
Well, and, like, this looks really depressing too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just and some of it is again, it's so fresh. Like, I never expected a standalone Clayface movie, and I didn't expect to be really excited about a standalone Clayface movie either. But I think I'm just glad that they're trying crazy stuff and taking these kinds of risks, and I have let myself get kind of excited about attempts at horror in a superhero movie universe before, like New Mutants, which should have been great and was not. Joker I liked the first time and have not liked it since, and I think that's one of the reasons that I'm kind of stoked for this. Is this looks like an attempt at getting Joker right finally, or something like that. One thing I have to give Joker, even though I flat out don't like it anymore, it is at least not an anti-hero movie. Like, he is still a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, the movie can't decide how much it wants us to sympathize with him in certain ways. And I don't buy the way a lot of people rally behind him by the end. And you've not seen that movie. Right? Well, Joker?
No, I have not.
But at least it's not the Sony Spider-Man villain thing, which I know is a very low bar to compare anything to. But, like, at least he's a psychopath. At least he's the bad guy. That's good. But this looks like an attempt at getting that right, finally. Would you read Matthew Base's super chat before we go to break, since it's related to this?
$10.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you. I agree with Jason. Me too, man. I agree with Jason in that I don't want Batman to take over the movie and detract from the other characters. I imagine the story will follow a similar formula to The Fly.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
I haven't seen that either.
You should.
Yeah.
We'll make sure and do that before this, because I bet they're looking at Cronenberg, especially because it's a body horror movie. But I don't want him to take over either. I just don't see a Feet of Clay adaptation without Batman at all. That just... I'll be impressed if they can win me over on doing that without that character. And part of it, too, is just, if they're in the DCU that is being built right now, and Batman's not in it, where is he? Why isn't he there?
Oh,
wouldn't he be dealing with this?
He's going out finding Riddler trophies.
And could we please not make this a prequel thing where we have a Bruce Wayne at 10 years old again or something? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. If Batman's not in it, you have to have a reason. He's out of town or something. And then, like, why then? You know what I mean? Like, how hard is it to get him in here without him taking over?
Yeah. I want him to, like, be present, but I don't want him to be in the movie. If that makes any sense. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't, like, with respect, if you wanted that movie, that's fine, but it can't be in the DCU then. It's got to be just its own thing.
I don't think it should be in the DCU.
Okay, but we know it is, which means Batman has to show up. And if he doesn't, and they can make me cool with that, then that's great. But, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Senior Sticks shows super chat. What's wrong with the Sonyster 6 cap? I mean, it's a super chat, but I don't know why I have to answer that. Everybody knows what's wrong with that.
Yeah, what's wrong with Madam Web, Dad?
Well, the short answer is they're not actually villains. They're supposed to be the heroes ultimately, and it's lame.
Whoa!
And it's a Spider-Man universe with no Spider-Man at all. It's just preposterous. Robert, we do know Clayface will be set before Superman in the DCU, so we'll see how long this version of Batman has been around. I bet it'll be... And yeah, I've not followed the production super close, so I didn't know we even knew that much. Obviously, I didn't even know if it was Hagen or not. But if that's the case, I would imagine it's going to be pretty early in his career. You know, this could be like a year 1 or 2 thing. Mm-hmm. And it might be neat if we see a contrast. Well, and actually, Jason... here's another argument for put Batman in the movie, please, for the love of God, which is, and again, I get your point, because it's like, you then have to thread the needle to keep it a horror film and still have a, like, superhero vigilante character in it. I get that. Just let him show up at the end and fight him. Like, he doesn't even have to have dialogue. He doesn't even have to be cast, hardly. But, please, for the love of God, put him in the movie, because... they're still supposedly making Brave and the Bold, which means when they introduce Batman proper as his own protagonist of a movie, Jason, it's going to be after a lengthy history where he's had multiple sidekicks, probably, and he is with Damian Wayne now. Yeah, let me see him in his first year or two, get at least a glimpse of him, before we jump forward. He's had like 10, 15, 20 years of history.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'm doubling down on this.
Okay. I'm standing right here.
And if he's there, I think they will win you over on his being there.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying, is they could do it right. But they can also do it really wrong.
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. What would doing it really wrong mean? Just it's a Batman movie and we didn't know it? Because I don't think there's any chance of that.
And also if he just takes over the spotlight too much. Like, I don't know. I want it to be a kind of a cop movie.
Yeah.
That's what I want. But...
Well, I don't think it'll even be that. I think it'll be a revenge thriller about organized crime and about the Hollywood system. And I also predict that Batman will be in the movie and he will not... We won't have an actor. He won't be cast.
That would be cool.
I think it'll be a guy in a suit, and I think he'll get little to no dialogue at all, and I think he won't have a screen credit. And I think they'll cast their Batman that will actually be the character with dialogue in Brave and the Bold. I don't think they're going to cast him for that. I don't think the guy that will be in the suit in this, if there even is a guy in a suit, I don't think they'll. Except I think they'll do it practically. I don't think it'll be CG. So it would have to be a stunt actor. But I don't think they'll introduce their Batman actor in this movie. Robert, but I'd be fine if he's just mentioned. At the very, very least, they have to talk about him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But more and more, I kind of hope we at least get a glimpse of him.
I mean, it would be awesome if you had a Batman horror movie where it was, like, Batman scary.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That would be great.
There's this cool 2-page spread. I just thumbed through this. I've not read this yet. There's this cool 2-page spread in this Clayface book, where this is mostly Clayface without very much Batman, where, like, with Jason, with this much of the book left, Batman finally shows up. And it looks like this. And that's what I want in this movie.
Very cool.
I want Batman to show up right at the end and face him down, and you just see his head in shadow.
Yeah. And
he's been investigating the whole time as we've been watching it from Hagen's perspective, and he takes down Clayface. Senior Sticks, super chat. A question. Well, that's the idea.
Questions.
Should Venom 3 have been a musical?
Yes.
I shouldn't have read that yet because I usually save those for the second half. But
yeah,
it couldn't have made it worse. Well, maybe it might have been worse.
No, I kind of wish it was a musical because it wouldn't have been as much of a waste of my time because I could just make fun of the music. Because I could make fun of how much that's so stupid that's a musical. You know?
It would have felt like it was leaning more into the preposterousness of it.
Now I want to ask you, should Joker 2 have not been a musical?
Well, Joker 2 shouldn't have been made as it was.
But would it have been just really, really bad if it didn't have music in it?
It would have been half an hour long.
Right.
Is the thing. You couldn't have made that movie without it because you had to pad it somehow.
You know what else is half an hour long?
What's
Venom
that?
3.
Well, yeah, that's true too. No, that's also massively padded. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a break here. Join us back for the second half when Jason is going to do a ranking in his segment of one of his favorite franchises.
Which I haven't had a segment on ever.
No. And we'll wait until the second half to even tell you what it is. But it's something I've reviewed in the past.
Yes.
But Jason has now watched every iteration of something.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk about that in the second half. And he's going to take his time on that. That'll probably be maybe half of the second half. And then we'll do some Q&A. So feel free to throw in more super chats or questions in the regular chat if you want to. Thanks for the support tonight, folks. People who have already left super chats. And we will do a fun segment at the end where Jason and I will try to make each other guess things. Okay, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we're back. It's time for the second half of tonight's edition of the Captain Logan Show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Jason now is going to talk about a series that he has fallen in love with, that I fell in love with a few years ago. And what is it, Jason? What are you going to rank tonight?
So over the past year, I have seen almost every. There's like one movie that I haven't seen. Every adaptation of Death Note.
You just deep dove like crazy into Death Note.
So one of my favorite animes, one of my favorite stories ever, Death Note.
I love it too.
Yeah, I binged the manga in like a week, like a year ago.
Are you ranking the manga?
No.
Oh, so screen
I'm
Death
ranking
Notes.
the adaptations of the manga.
I got you.
There are 5 of them. I'm going to rank them from worst to best and talk a bit about why.
I wonder which one you're gonna start with.
Yeah. So, it's basically it's based on how faithful it is to the original, and and if it isn't, are they good choices, you know? And is it, because there are a couple adaptations where the choices that they make that are different are pretty good. So
okay, cool. Well, and I'll remind everybody what there is, so that Jason doesn't have to poker face so hard. But there's of course the anime that most everybody that likes Death Note has watched. A lot of people started with. I started with it. I've not read the manga cover to cover, so I still don't know the better ending and the better second half, because the anime does kind of fall off in the second half. Admittedly, I still love that show, but it runs away with itself in a weird way. Even not totally knowing the source material, it's got problems.
Yeah.
And then there's a Japanese TV show.
Yep, from 2015.
And there are 2 Japanese films that are
more than 2.
More than 2?
Yeah.
Okay. But there's just 2 that you've seen, right?
3 that I've seen, and
they're all in the same continuity?
Yeah, and one's been out that I haven't seen.
Okay, I got you. And then there's a stage musical.
Yep.
Believe it or not, if you weren't aware of that, I've not seen that yet. And then there's of course the Netflix American film,
right,
that Austin and I did a blind commentary on.
And Austin says that that's going to be my number 1.
Of course he's saying that. Yeah. Anyway.
So at number 5 of the Netflix movie.
Gee, I'm so surprised.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? And also, probably minor spoilers through this, but I'm not gonna like get deep in it. Here's the thing with this movie. It seems to be made by, and I put this off for so long. Like, I put this off for a whole year. I was like, I don't want to watch this, but it's actually a lot more entertaining than I thought it would be. So it seems to be made by people who saw Death Note when it was on and loved it, but can't quite remember how the story goes or anything about it.
They didn't go back to it.
No, they did. They like never went. But they're just like,
they just went totally from memory.
Right, exactly. Because like it seems to be made with some love.
Yeah.
But
it actually kind of does.
It's not well written, at all. I don't know. Like,
what do you even say about that?
I don't even know what to say about it, but
well, you hated their light.
Yeah. Okay, so their light sucks. They don't understand how the Death Note works. Just at all. It doesn't make any sense. I still am befuddled. And I watched it 2 weeks ago, and I still have no clue.
So they make up new rules while making fun of the fact that there are way too many rules. And that's one thing I liked about it, is they're like, there's all these freaking rules. Like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But we could not... So I watched it with Jason, finally, without talking over it, like I did with Austin. And we could not get our minds around the convoluted, and there's a lot of convoluted in Death Note already. Admittedly, it's a very convoluted piece.
Yeah.
And all
But
the
that's
rules
what's fun about it.
are
You're
crazy.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah, but this just was inconsistent. Didn't make sense. The idea that you could write somebody's, help me out. What was it? You write somebody's name in it, and then if you destroy the page within like 24 hours, then they don't. What is it again?
I don't know what but it's like if the page burns and the person that you wrote the name of it on, if you write it before they die, before they would die, then they are saved. But that's really freaking stupid because you don't write one person's name on each page.
Yeah,
they do. Like, for some reason.
Even though, spoiler alert, they also end it with L having a page. So what, is he going to write one name in it, or is he going to write a bunch of names?
I know.
And then they had the convoluted thing where you write a name in it. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Well, anyway, go ahead. I'll think of it.
But then also, this is spoiler.
Oh yeah, but you could only do it one time.
Yeah,
that was the thing. Is that for some reason you could only do that once.
Yeah,
and then they have stuff where you can write a person's name without knowing their whole name.
So okay, so what
was that about?
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna get to. This is spoilers. You don't watch it. So so L's like Alfred character Watari, which they call Watari because it's American, and they don't know how to pronounce anything. Who
gets more screen time than in any version?
He sure does. He just writes Watari.
Yeah, is that his whole name?
No, I mean it's not.
What is that about?
If you could do that, then you could just write L.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's so stupid.
What worked or what was kind of fun? I mean, besides just like,
so
some of the stupidity is enjoyable,
and also it doesn't make any sense because, or I don't think it makes any sense because Light doesn't even kill people with heart attacks. He just keeps writing different deaths. So I don't know how they are able to figure out that there is Akira. Like,
yeah,
Akira.
That would be the best way to. That would be the best way to say anonymous.
I know, but they figure out the same way they did. I don't know.
Yeah. Didn't make any sense.
So the things that work, Willem Dafoe. That's what everybody says. Their L is really good. And I actually kind of like their take on L.
Yeah.
I like how angry he can get. Now, it's horribly written. So, but he gives a really good performance. And I was not expecting, like, of all the... I thought Willem Dafoe would be, like, the only good thing.
Yeah.
So, that surprised me a bit. Their Misa stand-in is horrible. I don't like her at all.
I'm won over a little more on the idea of her by the end. Like, the manipulation thing is okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
The idea of two Kiras, not in the sense that they're both operating at the same time, but that they're sidekicks is kind of fun, but they're actually after different things. And
yeah.
She has more of the god complex, and he's trying to be a superhero. And I don't hate that.
It's so totally CW.
Well, it is very CW, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, and I told you going into it, it's CW's Death Note.
Yeah.
Like it absolutely is.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that movie. Let's get to some better stuff. Number 4 is the Japanese movies. So, in contrast, the Japanese movies actually, at least at the beginning, attempt to straight up adapt the manga.
Oh, wow. I've not seen these at all.
So, okay, so basically, there's a movie, and then the movie gets a sequel, and then there's a spin-off called I'll Change the World, which I have not seen. But I have the book adaptation of it, but I haven't read it yet. And then there's a third movie called Light Up the New World, which is bonkers. Like, that is the best way to describe it, is bonkers.
Oh, wow.
So, basically, the first movie gets absolutely nothing done and is just a great waste of time.
It's just set up?
Yeah, the whole thing, it literally ends with Light and Elle meeting.
Are you serious?
Yep.
So it does the first 2 episodes of the anime?
It does like the first like 8.
Oh, okay. Oh no, you're
Like,
meeting.
them meeting.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like Elle even
No.
finding out about Kira. That would be even
that would be
worse.
No, and there's a stupid thing with his like Light has a girlfriend.
It'd be really funny though if the cliffhanger was the tennis match.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Or if the cliffhanger
if that was the third act.
Or if the cliffhanger was, I want to take this chip.
Yeah. Oh god. The third.
Does anything outside of the anime do the chip thing?
No.
Oh, weird. Okay, I was just wondering about that.
But we'll get to the tennis stuff.
Okay.
Because other things do the tennis, and it's hilarious.
Oh boy.
It's really funny. So I can't remember if the movies do. I don't think the movies do it, but I only saw them once and about a year ago. So, the second movie.
So if they get nothing done in the first movie, do they ever get to the twins?
Nope.
They never get that far?
Nope. So, the first no. So the first movie has a really weird third act where he like sets up his girlfriend and then kills her or something. I don't know. It's really weird. It gets way off track, and I'm like, what is going on? And then the second movie is actually really good, and like actually does stuff, and that's where you get Misa and stuff. And
how's the production values?
It's pretty good
in those movies. Okay.
And another thing is, I watched the sub, but the dub is the anime voices.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Neat.
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, the second movie, ends with, it basically just ends the Light stuff. Like, this is spoilers. In that version, Elle wins.
Oh, because they're gonna have that spinoff.
Yeah, which is he sacrifices himself by writing his own name in the Death Note, and he has 25 days to live, and that's his spinoff movie.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then the third movie is Light is dead, and it's 10 years after, and a bunch of people have Death Notes, and everybody's using it in different ways.
This is the version I always wanted to see.
And they have to take down everybody, and it's so complicated. I don't know what is going on.
Is it fun?
Yeah, I think.
That sounds amazing. I want to see that.
Clue.
I want to watch that without the other ones. Just watch that.
He's so good. I mean, I was already confused. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's what?
That's great.
So, yeah.
How would a bunch of people end up with Death Notes?
Well, you can have 7 people with Death Notes at one time.
But how would they get those?
I don't know.
You need Shinigami's to drop them. Well, when I say that's what I always wanted.
Lost the whole time.
I wanted a future jump where there was some kind of dystopia because of the Death Note. That's what I always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Where Elle is, or Light is either ruling the world, or the wrong person gets the Death Note and they do it, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that sounds awesome.
It's insane. And Elle has a successor that isn't Nier or Mello, where he is. I don't think Elle ever calls himself Ryuzaki, and so his successor in that is Ryuzaki, and he has the scary mask and.
Strange. So I thought you were gonna say it was so slow it just didn't get to them, but they just don't use them and they go past all that.
I think Nier is in the spinoff.
Oh,
but
weird.
he's like 5 seconds of screen time.
Okay.
Okay, number 3, the musical.
So what is that like?
It's great. I got to see it before it all got taken off YouTube, so that's great.
Oh, so you can't watch it now?
No. No, I was gonna show Freddie, and that was like the day after it all got taken down.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh well, okay. I actually really like the music. It's been in my head for the last couple weeks. It's very, the music at least is very Disney. And it does the story pretty well. And I watched the Japanese version, the 2015 Japanese production, and then I've listened to the English soundtrack. And yeah, they have a whole song that is the tennis match, and they're singing while playing tennis, and it's great.
That's awesome.
Yep. And yeah, they're it's got some catchy stuff, and the ending, it might be the musical might have the best ending.
Oh, wow.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to see it.
So Light sets Elle up. He figures out Elle's name, and he writes it in the Death Note, and he basically tells Elle to like kill himself, right? And then
is it still Ryuzaki?
It's Elle, and so he does it, like he actually ends up like killing Elle, and then he's like, oh, I'm the god of the new world, and then Ryuk's like, this is boring again, and then he kills Light.
Oh.
And then Ryuk wins.
Oh, okay.
It's great. It's insane. It's like, what? Yep.
That kind of makes sense, because like, you never really had all that power in the first place.
Right.
That really gets to the hubris of all of it. Mm-hmm. No, I needed a minute to digest that. I can see that.
No, I was like, what? Okay. Number 2, the 2015 TV show.
Yeah.
Live action TV show. I'm going through it for the second time right now with Freddie. We're like halfway through, and I'm not having a great second watch of it, to be fair.
Oh, you're not?
But, so it makes some really weird choices. And I don't love. I never.
Is that the other version that gives him a dead mom?
Yes.
Because the Netflix movie does that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Light in this version is actually, he's very human. Like he keeps trying to throw the Death Note away, and like Ryuk is the one that's
supposed to be more
like,
sympathetic.
Yeah, which is a lot more like the Netflix Death Note too.
Except he's actually sort of likable.
But also by the end, he gets to the place of the anime Light.
Oh,
like
okay.
by the end, he just totally
so he's corrupted by it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool idea to go slow burn.
Yeah.
With that, so they play it more like a Lex Luthor, like a Smallville Lags.
Yeah. So the big difference that I really like, this is major spoilers for Death Note, just Death Note. The way that they do the L thing, the L death.
Yeah.
Is
so major spoilers.
There's like this big epic scene in a warehouse with like security cameras and stuff, and then like he figures out L's actual name, and we learn it, and he writes down his name, and they don't do the REM thing. It's awesome.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Is she in it?
REM, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she is. She has a deep voice too.
Does she have see?
It's not like the musical where
needs a deep voice.
Yeah.
Misa.
I'm trying to think. Also, the way they do Near and Mellow is insane. It's not great. It ends up not being great, but the setup for it is awesome because basically they found this actress. Yes, they found an actress that is so good at both near and mellow that they just made her be both. And so, instead of it being two people, it's multiple personalities.
Dude,
And
I almost
she
just
keeps
made that
switching.
as a joke. That's how they did it?
Yes, that's how they do it. It's
So they're
great.
one character?
Yes.
Okay.
And the way that they do a big reveal that I don't love.
Okay.
And that show does so many fake out just for the audience. And there's one in particular that just doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Where, you know the Ray Penber thing?
Yeah.
With the FBI agent? Well, they're like...
It's like, what, 9 episodes in or something?
It's like 4 episodes
of the anime.
yeah.
It's pretty early.
He,
It's with the bus and all that.
Yeah, so they do the bus thing. He writes down his name. That's not his name.
Oh, you told me about this!
Yep. And
I watched part of the first episode, but I haven't seen past
but
that
what's
yet.
even worse is the way that we figure out that it's not his real name is he writes down his name and he's like, Ray Penber goes to L and pulls a gun on him and then shoots him, right? But what he does is he goes to L and he pulls a gun on him and then he's like, eh. And he's like, well, how would you know to pull a gun on? Like, how
If it's not actually your name,
right?
then why would you do anything?
It's just to fake out the audience.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I know. And I didn't
So
catch it on the first watch.
He would have to independently think to do that for no reason, and then at the very least it would be impossibly convenient.
Yeah, I didn't
What?
catch that on a first watch, and then I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
That sounds like CW writing scene to scene.
It does.
Where you haven't even decided how it happened yet.
Yeah.
And then they decide maybe retroactively it wasn't his name. I guess it's fine. That plot point makes no sense.
And then the ending in the 2015 version is very funny, and it has some of the best CGI fire. It's great. And then number 1 is the anime. Here's the thing.
Even though it's got a rough second half.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem though with the second half. The problem is that it's not the second half. It's like they condense it into 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, it's the same thing in the manga, but they stretch it out. It is the last half of the manga, and so they get you.
So the problem is they rush it.
They get you used to the world, to the new.
But
to
I
the
thought,
new world.
I thought the ending was kind of rough, and it's supposed to be better than the manga.
It is better than the manga.
Okay.
Because he isn't able to walk all the way to a friggin' flight of stairs. I don't even know how he's able to do that. And what they do with Mikami is horrible in the anime, in my opinion. But anyway, it's the first 10 episodes of that is what got me into Death Note. And then what I did was I read the manga and then I watched the rest of the anime. So I don't know why I did it like that, but I'm glad I did it like that because
that's probably the way to do it, actually.
Yeah.
Because I think you'd get hooked quicker with the anime just because the production's so good. And those first 2 episodes, it's
the second episode,
one of the best pilots of anything if you wanted to look at it like a pilot.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes. Yeah, and the anime stuff, and
then you
I
go,
just
"Oh, I
rewatched
love
it.
this." So then you look at the source material, so you know what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, so I just showed the anime to Freddie, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it still holds up, and the
No, it's how old now?
20 years.
20 years.
20
That's
years
what I was
now.
gonna say.
Yeah. It's the stuff, the Nier and Mela stuff is better on a second watch, but at the same time, it's because I know what they're doing, but I don't know. It's just so rushed when the first half is so good.
There also aren't a lot of better opening title sequences to things either, anime or otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that second theme song is rough, and I don't know why they did that.
Oh, it's so good though.
I disagree.
It's so funny.
I don't understand why they did that.
because Dad, we've always been this to free all this pain. So.
Oh, okay.
No,
now it's come together.
I like both, but the first one is like actually good. The second one is just funny.
It just it's funny because that's part of why I say second half.
Yeah.
Because like as soon as that happens, I feel like even the story starts to kind of go downhill. Or that's how I remember it. But
I mean,
it's been a
true.
while.
Like you're right, but. Anyway, that's my ranking of the Death Note adaptations. I feel like that's pretty easy to.
I think most people that
like
have seen everything, that's probably the order.
Yeah. I'll show you the Japanese movies at some point, or at least.
I'm very curious now.
At least the second one and the insane one, because the first one,
very curious.
You know how the first part of Death Note works.
Well, 3 sounds fun just because it would be a completely new story I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, and it's. I have no clue what's happening, but.
And the Nier spin-off, or the Nier spin-off, the L spin-off would also be like that.
Yeah,
I got a completely different story.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta finally watch that, so I will.
Braden, most of the anime seasons have different opening songs. Yeah, but that show's not really broken up like that.
Yeah, it should have. That's what they should have done, though, is that anime was popular. Why didn't they just do 2 seasons?
Yeah.
You know, like, that makes sense. I don't know.
No, it was like really popular.
And also the weirdest thing with the anime, I've already spoiled this. So how they handle the Eldeath is just like that whole episode is just, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just not even because I don't hate the Eldeath. I just don't like how that episode feels. It's just super awkward for no reason. Like
I had that with it too.
Like they changed the tone so quickly. And it's weird. I don't know. And the whole thing with the rain, that scene, is not in the manga, and it's weird, and it.
I'm not remembering.
I don't know why they. Well, I know why they did that, but.
Well, Jason's been wanting to do this for months now.
For like.
Or maybe longer.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you finally got
watched
to do it.
Netflix.
And I'm glad you got to go back through the anime again.
Yeah.
Before you did it. So yeah, there's Jason and probably 98% of the public's ranking of Death Note.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to some Q&A like we always do on the show, and we only got 20 minutes left in the program, so if there's anything you guys really want us to talk about, please put in a question either as a super chat or a regular comment, and just make sure and tag Jason in a regular comment. We've got a couple more Patreon questions for this month. We'll hit those in a minute. Let's do Senior Sticks super chat first.
Yeah, Senior Sticks. I almost called you Super Sticks.
Super Sticks.
Senior Sticks, $5. Writing question.
That's going to be the first comic in that new comic published. Sorry, I can't think of words right now. Remember at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to make a new comic company.
Yeah, Super Sticks.
Super Sticks is my first comic. Anyway, go ahead.
Yep. Writing question.
Yeah.
Why not use the universe opposed to trying to recreate lightning in a bottle again? And second, which universe would you like to explore?
Why not use the universe opposed to trying to recreate? I don't know what he means. Does he mean with this idea of making a comic company, or is he talking about Death Note, or Senior Sticks? You're gonna have to give us a comment and elaborate on what the context is.
Let's answer the question. And I think this is what he means. Maybe not. What universe would you like to write something in?
Just in general?
Yes.
Any universe at all?
Yes.
I would probably want to do either a Batman or a Star Trek story.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of Star Trek.
Yeah.
What about Batman in Star Trek?
Senior Sticks just wrote 30 minutes more.
Sorry.
Buddy, I don't know what we're talking about. Senior Sticks, assuming free will exists and one writes something's gonna happen, if the person know, can they avoid it? Oh, that's a completely different, unrelated question. I think. Anyway, trying to get back to the super chat. I just don't know what the context is.
Yeah, I don't know, but
But yes, if I had to pick any universe, well, no, I'm sorry. My number one is Spawn.
and make an actual good Spawn
Just
story.
rebooting from the ground up, a la like IDW Ninja Turtles or something, or Boom Power Rangers. You know, just taking all the toys in the box and doing a complete reimagining. But yeah, I just don't understand what he means by why not use the universe as opposed to recreating lightning in a bottle. Does he mean like you should never reboot anything and you should always stay in original continuity? Is that the point he's
Why do
making?
reboots?
Okay, I mean if that's what I'll pretend like that's what he meant.
Yeah, he's saying like Harry Potter, for example.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, there's even with Harry Potter, there's understandable reasons to make the attempt, maybe, which is, well, and you have to case by case this, right? So, if you've already told the story in like if we're talking about adapting something, if the story has been told, there are only 3 things you can do. I'm going to be like really pedantic and obvious for a minute, okay? The first thing you can do, Jason, is, well, maybe there's 4. The first thing you can do is a prequel. You can go backwards.
Oh, God.
That's of course what Harry Potter did when they ran out of material. Is they went backwards, and they did the Fantastic Beasts, right?
Yeah.
You can go backwards. You can reboot and do the same story again in a different way. You can go forwards and make up new stories in the same universe with the same characters or not. The fourth thing you can do is a story told between the raindrops, like an in-betweenquel. You know, you're like Lion King 1.5 or something like that. So when he says, why try to catch lightning in a bottle again, I don't think that's quite right depending on the property we're talking about, because sometimes the lightning in a bottle is the initial popularity of the thing. It's people already really care about this, and if you so the positive way to look at it is, if you don't think it was handled as the absolute best it could have been the first time around, you go back to the source material and you try again, and you do another adaptation that is not a reboot of what you made or a remake of what you made, but simply a new thing done with the old source material. The cynical way to look at it is what Hollywood typically does, which is, we've got to use brand recognition. People will go look at this because there's already a built-in fan base, or people have heard of it, and so you make it again, and you keep making it for every generation, and you do it under the pretense of, well, it has to be updated for a new generation that can't appreciate when it was set in the X decade from before they were born or whatever. But the real reason you're doing it is just to keep cashing in on the same thing over and over again.
What specific reboots do you think were never needed? And just
I mean, a lot of them. When you say reboot, do you mean? Because I mean, that's such a loaded word these days. It means a lot of different things. But are you just saying like, we told that story already? Why redo the thing?
Yeah.
Like, anytime we do the soft reboot thing where it's the exact same formula, but we're pretending like it's a new story, it almost never works. Your Ghostbusters 2016s, that kind of thing. I'm sorry to say your Force Awakens, even though I liked that okay when it came out, but when it didn't go anywhere, it ended up being one of those.
I have not revisited Force Awakens.
Yeah, I haven't either. Not really haven't.
I'm scared to.
But yeah, so what I was going to say with Harry Potter, you know, as the example he gave, is, yeah, you could go forward in the same universe and do more stuff with that character, I guess. but like Rowling did that with a play that people seem to not like.
Right.
And so like if you could tell a cool story, like either she's doing it or somebody else is doing it, I guess there could be a reason to move forward, but like that, or you can do something else in that universe but go forward. I think I like that better than doing a prequel.
How about Harry Potter becomes a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher and then just dies?
That's great. But real quick, the point I wanted to make with this is I don't love Harry Potter as an example because I get the initial idea of doing that again because as we talked about a few weeks ago when that teaser dropped, the movies do feel kind of supplemental. There is a lot of stuff missing. So there is a more pure, like, definitive version of that would get all the details in that you could make. And so that seems different from a lot of other things to me where it's like you already have, like, the definitive version. Why on earth would you ever go back and redo that? Like, there would be no reason, for instance, to remake The Matrix. We have that. Like, the only thing you can do with The Matrix is go forward.
Right.
Or go backwards. I mean, like, that's all you can do. Whether that's a good idea or not, that's all you can do with that property. Harry Potter is not one of those properties. Now, are they going to make the definitive version with that HBO show? Probably not. It looks better than I expected. We're hearing more not great things that I'm not going to get into right now. We'll see what ends up happening. But, like, theoretically, that is the right thing to do with that.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So when he says, like, why ever do that? Well, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, should you never make a more book-accurate screen version of The Shining just because Stanley Kubrick made a beloved movie? Well, no, like, what he made's not definitive for that story. You can do a version of The Shining that is very different from that, that's closer to the original material. Stephen King attempted that with a miniseries that was awful and, like, really badly written, even though he wrote the thing 100%. Yeah, it's very strange. But it was more beat for beat the book. And like, the script was bad, but, like, the beats were there. It would have been nice to have that.
Well, and they did that with Running Man.
Yeah. That's true. Well, and Running Man's, like, now I've not seen that remake yet. And I've not really heard anything about it. But, like, I don't know if people liked it or not.
It has one of my favorite actors in it, though, so.
Yeah, it's out now. We should watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's streaming on a service I have. We can watch it for free now, I think.
Yep.
I think. So we should watch that. But anyway, but you should see the original, too.
Yeah.
Running Man's a great example where what they made looks like a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Or at least different enough. Like, it is looking at that movie a little bit sort of like a... This is not a great example, but we were talking about The Shining. So it's sort of like a Dr. Sleep or something, where, like, it's keeping that movie in mind, but it's also looking at the original material, too. That's what that looked like, at least with the advertising to me. So, yeah, like, you could totally do that. And I don't, with respect to Senior Six, I don't see it as lightning in a bottle again. I see it as your property is already popular, so people might give you a chance. You know what I mean? Anyway, well, let's go ahead and do those Patreon questions real quick.
Yeah. Patreon. Boom. Okay. Why am I using my phone like I'm a grandma? Okay. Elliot Slater. When it comes to buying and collecting single-issue comics, do you prefer newsstands or direct editions?
Oh, that's a cool question. So for the longest time, I had no preference with this. I never thought about it. I didn't even typically know what the difference was. Aesthetically, I like direct editions better because they don't typically have a barcode on the front.
I don't know the difference.
So your newsstand, so when you look at, and we don't have this at all anymore. Like everything is pretty much direct edition, and you just have variant covers now. Back in the 80s and 90s, especially, you would, and even before that, you would maybe there's some of this in the 70s, but especially in the 80s and 90s, when you have comic book stores, you would have newsstand, which is what would show up at gas stations and grocery stores and stuff like that, and they would have a barcode on the front, and when a direct edition would very often either not have anything on the front, or it would have, where the barcode is, a rectangle that was maybe advertising something, or just had like a little drawing in it, like a Spider-Man, or you've seen this. Yeah, that's typically what that is. Okay. I believe so. For instance, the and very often, the newsstands are the easier ones to get.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, the direct market first printing for Spawn is the one without the barcode on it, and it doesn't have anything in the corner, and it's the less valuable one. That's the easier one to get. That one books right now for like between $20 and $30, and it's cheaper. It's not worth as much, but I like the look of it better because it's just McFarlane's artwork clean, with simply the name of the book and the number, and that's about in image, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you buy the one with the barcode on it, and that's the only difference in the cover, you're paying an extra $20.
Yeah.
$15-$20. So yeah, aesthetically, I do prefer the directs usually. But I don't know. If there's enough of a difference in value, like I can also sometimes fall into the trap of, well, I want the more valuable one, I guess.
Sure.
Especially if there's nothing like really cool in the cover in the corner. But I prefer the kind of clean page.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a great question.
All right, we got another question from SS Jerry.
I think I'm right about the difference with those. Yeah, go ahead. Because this isn't something I thought about until very recently. Like, I never used to pay attention to the differences with direct market and newsstand.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But now that makes sense. SS Jerry, what 3 Power Rangers shows would you recommend in general to someone who watched through Mighty Morphin? I can answer this. Zeo, skip Turbo, go to In Space, and then watch Dawn of Thunder.
That's the answer.
Yep.
That's simply the correct answer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Because those are the shows that are most related to that.
Yep.
To that show. And Turbo's just bad. And not much of consequence happens in it.
Yep.
So if you really like Mighty Morphin, well, you probably want the rest of the Mighty Morphin era. And then Dino Thunder is, in its way, kind of like we were talking about soft reboots earlier. It watches like kind of a soft reboot of Mighty Morphin.
Did we actually end up doing that Guide to Power Rangers show?
Yeah, we sure did.
Did we? Okay.
We spent like 2 hours on it. Yeah, remember that week that I was supposedly off and then I just did Power Ranger streams all week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you came in and helped me with that.
Yeah, I was there, I think.
Yeah. No, we made that. So quick plug for that. We have it now a extensive guide to getting into Power Rangers if you've only seen a little bit of that show or you've never watched it. Mm-hmm. Should we go on to our final segment?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try 10 question challenges. Nice. Me and Jason back and forth. We'll try not to take too long on this. I'm going to drop the screen here so that I can't look at comments.
Yep.
And I guess when it's my turn, it won't be a big deal if I'm looking at comments. But I don't want to cheat. But I want you guys to get to kind of guess too. So we're gonna do what we've always called, is it bigger than a standard replicator? We used to do this for Star Trek Club. It's basically 20 questions, except the version that we're going to do tonight, we're going to cut that in half, and we're going to attempt to, so we're going to make them slightly easier. We're going to attempt slightly. I don't know how easy mine is.
I don't know how easy mine is.
Okay, all right. We're gonna see if the other person can come up with what he's thinking in just 10 questions.
Yeah.
And we give a category, and then the person asks questions, but they can guess on every question if they want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to give or receive first?
I can give first.
Okay. What is the category, sir?
I'm thinking of a video game.
Jason's thinking of a video game. Okay. I did a different category. I thought about video games, but I did a different category.
Okay, good.
So it'll be fun. We'll get some good variety here.
Yes.
Okay. Jason, is this video game... I have to be really strategic about this because there's so much, obviously, it could be. Let me start with this. Yeah. Is this a video game that starts in the arcade?
No.
Okay. Is this a Nintendo-published video game?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad I got a yes pretty quick. Is this a game that starts on the Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Is this a sequel?
No.
Oh. Okay, a Super Nintendo game that's the first... Okay. So it can't be actually the first thing. I almost said Earthbound, but that's technically a sequel.
That's a sequel.
So it's not going to be that. Okay.
Yep.
You said 4? I've asked 4 questions so far. Okay. Okay. Is this a platformer?
Nope.
A Nintendo published non-sequel on the Super Nintendo. So it's not going to be Yoshi's Island either, because that's also technically a sequel.
Right.
And it can't be Super Metroid. It can't be Super Castlevania 4. It can't be Link to the Past. So like a lot of the biggest stuff, which means this, but it is Nintendo published, so it's not third party at all.
It's Nintendo published.
Nintendo published. So okay, wow. So now I got to think of like what franchises started on the Super Nintendo. Sorry, in the moment, I'm not immediately thinking of any, like, because so many of them are sequels.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, like, am I crazy for not immediately
No,
like,
you're not crazy.
like Kirby, obviously. Okay, my first guess.
Yeah.
Star Fox.
No. Starbucks.
Okay. Is it a racer?
Yep.
Is it F-Zero?
Nope.
What? You son of a... Okay, so it's not F-Zero, but it's a racing game.
Yep.
It's Nintendo published and starts on... Is it Mario Kart?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm not immediately thinking of first-party racing games that aren't Mario Kart or F-Zero on the Super Nintendo. What in the heck? Do I own this?
Yes.
God bless America. And I have the... It's not Uniracers, because that's not Nintendo published. Or is it? Is it? Is it Uniracers?
Yep.
Okay, Uniracers is not Nintendo published.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes, it is.
okay, explain that to me.
It's Nintendo published.
Okay.
It's not Nintendo developed.
Oh.
It's Nintendo published.
But it's got the seal on it? Is that what you're saying? Okay. I didn't know that. I actually just did not know that. Well, thank God I said it then. And Uniracers is interesting because it's not a franchise.
Yeah. I don't know if it has the seal.
Okay.
But it's published by Nintendo.
So it's technically not third party. I did not know that.
But Nintendo doesn't have the rights to it, obviously, because Pixar.
Because of Pixar, yeah. Fascinating.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess
Yeah, it does have the seal. Yeah.
Well, I would think it would have to.
Right. I wasn't remembering it having the seal.
Well, Archie Godzilla, he just retracted it, but he said, are any of the characters in the Smash Brothers? And now that I know what it is, I got this great mental picture.
Wish. That'd be so good.
It doesn't even have a trophy or anything lame like that. Because nobody can do anything with it now. Yeah, can anybody publish
I think Disney
Uniracers?
can.
Oh, Disney could.
Disney could. They're not going to.
I wish they would. Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm so ready.
Apologies if this ends up being too hard or ridiculous, but
Okay.
we're gonna try it. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You ready for a curveball category?
Yeah, sure.
I'm thinking of something that has to do with Geekvolution.
Yes! I love this category. Okay.
I hope that's not too broad.
Well, I'm going to start it with a guess.
We've got 17 years of it. Oh my god.
Is it me?
It is not you.
Dang it!
That would have been great.
So are we guessing, are we doing guesses as questions?
No,
Right?
no,
Okay.
you can
Okay,
like
good.
I said, you can guess on every
Cool.
question.
Okay, is it alive?
No.
Crap. Is it a video?
No, it's not a video.
Okay. Is it an object?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hold it in one hand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is it seen in more than 5 videos on the channel?
Probably.
Probably.
Yes.
Okay. Is
No,
it seen,
for sure it is.
Is it seen in this video?
No.
Okay. Does it have to do with Spawn here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, you only got 3 questions to come up with. Maybe I should have started with Spawn Year as the category, but I thought that might be too easy. I don't know.
Does it I should have started with is it from Spawn Year? Okay, is it Spawn Head?
Spawn Head?
Yeah, is it the
What does that mean?
the Spawn Head the Magic 8 Ball?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Well, yeah, well done.
Yeah.
It's the Magic 8 skull.
The Magic 8 skull.
Yeah. Okay, you got it. That's in this room, but you can't see it in the.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I've got it back there.
Right.
Okay.
That's in the movie.
Way to go. Hot Soup, how far behind in the video are you? Like we're getting the Spawn Year category, and he goes Pilot Wings. Is it seen in 5 videos on Geekvolution? It must be Pilot Wings.
Yes.
I love Pilot Wings.
Have I ever told you about Mikey?
No, did he play Pilot Wings?
No. We were doing maybe you have heard this, but it's funny for the audience.
Yeah, sure.
We were playing Santa Replicator, and I was thinking of something that had to do with video games. Do not remember what it was now, but it was I think it was like a gun from Halo or something like that, or maybe it was like Master Chief or something. And it was
We
like
played this game in the house a lot.
it was like we were asking, it was Mikey and Freddie asking me.
Mikey's favorite category is stuff in the house.
Yeah. They were like, is it in a Nintendo game? I'm like, no. Is it a video game? No. Is it an object? Yes. Is it on the Xbox? Yes. And then Mikey goes, is it Mario Party 6?
Oh yeah, I know about this.
Nope.
And then that became a running gag forever. Where every time we play Santa Replicator, it's like, is it Mario Party 6?
Yeah.
Well, do you see any other questions we gotta answer?
No. Yes. Senior Sticks, has the Day Ghost and the reviewer ever teamed up?
No. No, because the reviewer's in the future. I mean, the reviewer's never done anything except be in that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, don't you mean an alternate past? But no. Yes.
Oh, well, that's true, too.
Yeah.
I guess that was all, yeah.
No, but
And then he's also
but
in the
also
future.
in the future.
Yeah,
so I
that's
was
true.
like, oh,
That's
wait,
true.
Yeah, no, you're right. But maybe not in the right way.
I don't understand my own movie. It's fine. It's
Dude,
fine.
I don't think anyone understands your movie.
Nah, that's all right. That's all right.
I understand your movie.
I'm glad somebody does. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. I will be back tomorrow night for Comic Book Late Night, and we're going to review books from last week and a one-shot that Chris picked, and I forget what it is. I've not read it yet, but look forward to that show. I'm going to be out of pocket Wednesday night. Jason and I have a movie to go to, I think. So we're going to try to review the Michael Jackson movie next Monday. That's probably going to be in lieu of the Captain Logan show. Jason's a giant Michael Jackson fan, wants to see that movie. And so we're going to try to review that next week. Although I will say, depending on how we feel about it, we'll either do a whole show on it or we'll just make it a shorter segment on this show.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it. I'm hearing
Me
such
too.
mixed reactions that I kind of want to see if we have 2 hours to do on that.
Yeah.
Or if we just want to do it like in place of your segment.
Yeah.
So we'll play that by ear. We'll be back Monday night, whether it's a Captain Logan show with that review in it or whether it's a how we felt about.
Yeah.
And then Friday this week, originally we were supposed to do this last week, but we had to put it off. Austin and I are going to finally get back to the Superhero Rewind commentaries, and we're going to be tackling Ghost Rider this week, so look forward to that. And in the meantime, I was Captain Logan, and this was Jason.
This is me.
Bye, everybody.
I wanna take you for a ride.